I'm getting there. It's another go-around of Soccer's in session here on the SDH Network. John Nelson here with you. And for the next little bit, we're going to go over what happened last night in GHSA. And when it comes to boys and girls soccer, we'll get you ready for the rest of the week when it comes to what we have planned on the network. And then we'll even get some mocked up brackets coming up in just a little bit. So, we were trying to figure out matchups and what it could look like. And so we are kind of getting in that way when it comes to, and we could really, when it came to mocking up brackets, you could do 4, 5, and 6A. Everybody else's power rankings and laying things out. So since I don't have that math, it was just looking at things in 4, 5, and 6. And 6A specifically on the girls' side, especially if chalk was to hold, it would be some really interesting first-round matchups. So we'll get into kind of projections a little bit. We'll let you know what the schedule is, and we'll go through everything here at SDH. As always, Soccer's in Session presented by our friends at Kaiser Permanente. Kaiser Permanente, once again, great partners and great friends here at the SDH Network, as you see by right there, presenting sponsor for the SDH Network, Kaiser Permanente. So yesterday, in looking at all of the stuff going on in high school soccer, you get your midweek matchups, and right now it's an interesting place because you are in spring break week in some places and some and not in others. And so you're looking for, why does it do this? It legitimately does this every single time. I don't care. Literally, I'm trying to look up the scores, and it always takes me to the default of Washington, D.C. for some reason, and back in November. I have no earthly idea why. Anyway, yesterday, girls' side, you had 123 matches yesterday as folks are kind of drifting in and out of spring break activities and trying to get secured and figure out where things go. It is this was a mix of action in the GIAA, GHSA, and it is the GHSA. So you have the GHSA, the GIAA, and GHSA. So those three activities, they had 123 matches yesterday. The first one actually involved, first match on the board, Crossroads Christian from Blackshear and Faith Christian from Yulee, Florida. That started at 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon. But just some of the highlights from yesterday. Calvary, they beat Statesboro by the score of 5-1. Thomasville continues to roll on the boys' side, and it was a 2-1 final there in South Georgia. You had the Weber School beat Galloway 4-1. Pierce County continues their great play. 4-1 winners over Thomas County Central. Norcross over Central Gwinnett. That's big when it comes to region standings and how we were mocking things up yesterday. Drew beat Douglas 6-1. Wesleyan over Mount Vernon 3-2. Roswell over North Cobb, and once again, that kind of sets things up, when it comes to wins and losses as well. Roswell over North Cobb 4-1. It was Lassiter over Pope 2-1. It was Holy Innocents putting 10 on Hateville Charter on the day. Savannah Christian beat Savannah Country Day 2-1. Murray County over Coosa 2-0. Hillgrove over South Cobb 3-2. Fellowship over Mount Pisgah 2-1. It was Cristo Rey over Mays 5-0. Fitzgerald. Keep an eye on the Fitzgerald program in South Georgia in Division I. And Fitzgerald's boys put 10 on Irwin County yesterday. It was Atkinson County, another team to keep an eye on down in South Georgia. They were 3-0 winners as well. Jeff Davis put 8 on Brantley County in a big region matchup. Wayne beat Bradwell 3-0. It was Hebron Christian putting 10 on Hart yesterday. We'll be at Hebron Christian as a part of our broadcasts on Thursday. I will be up there for Toombs County and Hebron Christian for the doubleheader there, 5:30, 7:30. And Jason and Maddie and Sophia actually will be over at Trinity Christian for Dutchtown and Trinity Christian. That one is going to go 5:30, 7:30 as well. One of them is going to be on the Mothership, the other on the Deuce. My gut tells me it's going to be Dutchtown, Trinity Christian on the Mothership, and Toombs and Hebron on the Deuce. But keep your notifications set and figure out, okay, what's going to be where. And obviously everything will be archived coming up in short order. We caught up with the Metter head coach last week. Metter beat Claxton 5-0. North Cobb Christian, a shutout win over Rockmart by 5. Woodland Cartersville over Gordon Central 3-0. Calhoun and Sonoraville, two up-and-coming programs in Northwest Georgia. Calhoun got the win 5-1. Bullock Academy beat Portal 6-1 in Single A. Ola over Jones County 4-1. Whitfield over Lovett 2-1. Rabin over Banks 4-1. George Walton over Loganville Christian 2-0. Tallulah Falls put 10 on Athens Christian. Appling beat Ware in a non-region matchup 5-3. Keep an eye on Appling in single A and keep an eye on Ware in quad, because right now region standings might be interesting with those two. Redan over South Atlanta 5-2. Jeffco beat Thompson 3-0. Adairsville shut out Pepperell 2-0. It was ARC continuing their winning ways over West Lawrence 4-1 on the boys' side. Central of Carroll over Temple 4-0. BT over AIS 4-2. St. Francis over Atlanta Classical 4-3. Grovetown over Newton 3-0. Discovery doubled Mountain View 4-2. Grayson over South Gwinnett 4-0. Mary Persons continues to win 5-3 over Luella. LOA over Putnam County 6-3. Morgan County over Appalachia 4-1. Model over Cartersville 5-1. Peachtree Ridge over Cherokee Bluff 6-0. Jefferson beats West Hall on the boys' side, and Coach Pineda gets the win over West Hall 2-0. Pike County 3-2 over Jackson. It was Drew putting up 10 on Columbia, Duluth putting up 10 on Shiloh. Flowery Branch beat East Jackson 3-2. Cedar Shoals beat Athens Academy 5-0. North Oconee 1-0 winner over Jackson County. Collins Hill in a big region matchup beat Mill Creek 2-1. Stockbridge over Elka 4-0. That one's also for positioning when it comes to region. Aquinas over Harlem 4-0. Sprayberry beat Walton 2-1. That's another one that can dictate things in the region. Right now, Sprayberry looks like they might have the inside track to the 3 seed coming out of their region. Lanier shut out Seconder. Lanier, one of the top-ranked teams in the state. They are up. They won that one 3-0 as well. Decula, big win over Buford 2-1. And we'll follow up what happened on the girls' side as well when we get into the mocking up of the brackets and where things could fall. Towns County shut out Washington Wilkes 5-0. Riverdale put 10 on Carver. Salem shut out Green 4-0. Druid Hills over Tucker in a shootout 4-3. Ace Charter over Waco 7-0. Gainesville beat Chestatee 4-0. Tift over Valdosta and 1-6-8-2-1. Tri-Cities a winner. Locust Grove a winner. North Hall doubled Madison County. Eagles Landing beat Union Grove. And once again, that one's for positioning in the region as well. Johnson Gainesville beat Lumpkin County on the boys' side 5-1. East Hall over Monroe area. Alexandra shut out Villarica. Providence Christian shut out Commerce. Oconee County shut out Loganville. Rome beat East Paulding 4-1. North Atlanta in a big win for region positioning beat Alpharetta 2-1. Harrison and Campbell won in PKs 1-1 after 80, 90, and 100. Milton won in PKs over Johns Creek. Whitewater shut out Dutchtown. Centennial over Dunwoody. Sandy Creek over Upson Lee. St. Pius put 9 on Lithonia. Woodward over Chambly 2-1. Decatur beat Stars Mill 2-0. Marietta beat Riverwood 4-0. Heritage over Woodland 2-1. Osborne put 10 on Paulding County. South Paulding won in PKs over Kennesaw Mountain. And keep an eye on that one for a 3-4 on the boys' side. Northview over North Springs. Cambridge 5-1 over Kell. Pebblebrook over McEachern. Trinity Christian shut out Langston Hughes to set up the matchup with Dutchtown on Thursday. Lakeside and Chattahoochee a 1-1 draw. Wheeler and Allatoona won that one by the score of 3-1. We'll get to the girls' games and get you caught up with that in a bit. But the rankings, according to our friends at Scoreboard, and we'll go through this a couple of different ways. All classes top 10, coaches poll. River Ridge, Dalton, Harrison, McIntosh, Archer, Johns Creek, Northwest Whitfield at 7, Marist at 8, Hebron Christian 9, Norcross is at number 10. In that ranking, Harrison is Harrison, McIntosh, Archer, Johns Creek, Northwest Whitfield, Norcross. 8 losses among all the teams in the top 10 across all classifications when it came to Scoreboard piecing it together. Your 6A boys poll, week 7, Harrison, Archer, Norcross, Grayson, Lambert, Carrollton, Pebblebrook, North Atlanta, Marietta, and Collins Hill. Now, as we were looking at what things could look like, and this is once again one version of the universe when it comes to the mocking up of the brackets. In 6A on the boys' side, you could have opening round matchups involving the winner of South Forsyth and Denmark next week. They could be going to Duluth. The Region 1 number 3 could be heading to Marietta. So that could be Camden County, or it could be somebody like a Lowndes. Pebblebrook and Decula, Alpharetta at Norcross. And then as it feeds into the second round on the boys' side in 6A, you could have a matchup of North Atlanta and Archer. And that would be the Palace intrigue in that one would be very, very high if you had things mock up and mock out the way that we were looking at. Like I said, it is one version of the universe, just one version of the universe. And you could see what it looks like there. 5A, River Ridge, no surprise, number 1. River Ridge and McIntosh, 1 and 2 on the boys' side. Johns Creek at 3. Sprayberry at 4. Lassiter, Woodward, Clark Central, Alexander, Milton, and Gainesville. Gainesville at 10 and 5. 5A mock-up. You could have opening round matchups like Chattahoochee at Riverwood in a 2-3, Sprayberry at Roswell in a 2-3, Sequoia and Lassiter at Johns Creek in a 4-1. You could have in a quarterfinal McIntosh and Rome, and that could feed to playing Woodward Academy. Once again, this is one version of the universe leading itself with chalk. Then you could have Veterans and River Ridge feeding toward Johns Creek. So you could have River Ridge and Johns Creek in the semifinal. You could have McIntosh and maybe a Sprayberry heading toward Woodward Academy. So there's, you could have that layout for you there in 5A. But McIntosh and possibly Rome feeding to a matchup with Woodward in one semi. Veterans and River Ridge feeding toward a matchup with Johns Creek in the other semi. So you could have River Ridge and Johns Creek in a semifinal in 5A boys. So you could look at that one and go forward with that. Quad A, week 7 rankings. Dalton, Marist, Westminster, Pius, BT, Clarkston, Pace, Eastside. Once again, thanks to our friends at Eastside for being a part of football Fridays in Georgia for the matchups against North Oconee. Druid Hills and Perry. That's your top 10 there. And then Quad A, you could have Eagles Landing, North Oconee in the first round. You could have maybe the Region 1. You could have, say, a Ware coming north to take on a DeKalb County school, Clarkston, Pius, or Druid Hills. You could have Harris County taking on Maynard Jackson in the opening round. You could have quarterfinals if, once again, all things being equal and you have a chalk situation. You could have Perry and Midtown, and you could have Eastside and Dalton in the quarters. That's Quad A. And then once again, triple, double, single, and the private. That is all done in power rankings. So we'll just go over the rankings when it comes to those particular elements of it all. The triple class single to triple private school poll, boys side, Hebron Christian GAC, AIS, Savannah Country Day, Providence Christian Whitfield, Trinity Christian from Sharpsburg. Once again, we're going to catch up with them taking on Dutchtown tomorrow at Trinity Christian in Sharpsburg. Landmark, Mount Vernon, and Wesleyan. That's your private pool. That's your private Class A through AAA private top 10 from our friends at Scoreboard. AAA boys top 10. Northwest Whitfield on top. North of Coney County, Whitewater, Johnson, Gainesville, Islands, Chestatee, West Lawrence, ARC, Gilmer County, and LaGrange. That's AAA. AA, Columbus, Morgan County, Coahulla Creek, Appling County, Pierce, Callaway, Shaw, Crisp, Drew, and Hart County. Hart County wanting to challenge themselves with a matchup that they had yesterday on the boys' side. In AA, it is Columbus, Morgan County, Coahulla Creek. Looking forward to catching up with our friends at Coahulla Creek next week. Appling, Pierce, Callaway, Shaw, Crisp, Drew, and Hart County. Once again, that's your AA. Class A D1, Toombs, Jeff Davis, Model, Bremen, Lamar, Thomasville, Jasper County, Armurchie, Ace, Charter, and Putnam. That's your top 10 in 81. In 82, GMC Prep, Metter, Lake Oconee Academy, Atco, Towns, Dooley, Tryon, Atlanta Classical, Lincoln County, and Chatco. That's your top 10 in 82. So that's your boys' side when it comes to all of your rankings coming into week 7 from our friends from Scoreboard and how the 4, the 5, and the 6 would look in mock-ups going forward. Now, going over to the girls' side and what happened yesterday score-wise. And once again, we'll get into the matchups today at the end of it all. Right now, depending on the national poll, You have West Forsyth, Roswell, Brookwood, Lambert, and Pacelli all in the top 10, regardless of classification. The all-classed top 10, West Forsyth, Roswell, Brookwood, Lambert, and Pacelli, they're all in the top 10. So, scores from yesterday. And I don't care about Chicago. Goodness gracious. Why do you give me the girls' scores from Chicago? I don't know why the settings are what they are. 121 matches once again yesterday on the girls' side. Winners, Padilla shuts out Walker. Wesleyan shut out Mount Vernon. Trinity Christian beat Wayne Christian 3-2. It was Savannah Country Day putting 10 on Savannah Christian. Screven beat Portal. We've had our eye on Screven County on the girls' side. Atlanta Classical beat St. Francis 4-1. Fellowship 10 on Mount Pisgah. Ware beat Appling 3-1. Jeff Davis shut out Brantley County 4-0. Tallulah Falls put 6 on Athens Christian. Thomasville did the same to Brooks County. Fitzgerald girls, keep an eye on them, beat Irwin County 2-1. Hebron beat Hart 11-2. Claxton 3-0 over Metter on the girls' side. North Cobb shuts out Rockmart by 7. Ola beats Jones County in a shootout. It was Sonorville shutting out Calhoun 2-0. It was Calvary Day beating Statesboro 6-4. Atco shut out Coffee 3-0. Madison County shut out North Hall. Ace put 10 on Waco. Harlem over Aquinas 5-3. Mary Persons beat Luella 3-2. Rabun Gap-Nakuchi stayed in state, played Lakeview Academy, and won that one 5-1. Mountain View shut out Discovery 4-0. Adairsville had a number put 10 on Pepperell. Grovetown 7 on Newton. Central Carroll beat Temple 4-3. South Gwinnett over Grayson 2-0. Greater Atlanta Christian put 10 on White County. East Jackson shut out Flowery Branch. Pike shut out Jackson. We're keeping an eye on Pike County on the girls' side. LOA shut out Putnam County. Cherokee Bluff 9-1 over Peachtree Ridge. ARC continues to win. They shut out West Lawrence 4-0. BT over AIS 5-0. Villarica 4-1 over Alexander. East Hall in a shootout beat Monroe area when it was tied at 3. Elka over Stockbridge 5-2. Athens Academy over Cedar Shoals 8-1. It was Lanier shutting out Seconder 3-0. Woodland put 10 on Gordon Central. Raven 8 on Banks County. Crisp shut out Sumter 7-2. Providence Christian over Commerce 2-1. Locust Grove 9 on Hampton. Chestatee and Gainesville. Gainesville's girls win. It was 1-1 after 80. They win in a shootout there. Jeffco over Thompson 4-1. Oconee County shut out Loganville. Jefferson shut out West Hall. South Atlanta shuts out Redan. Duluth over Shiloh 11-3. Buford to win over Decula once again. We'll let you know the 6A bracket, and it could get really spicy late. Buford over Decula 6-0. Johnson over Lumpkin County 6-1. Green over Salem 6-0. Social Circle shut out Utopian. Jackson County won in PKs over North Oconee 2-2 after 100. Eastside shut out Spalding. Dodge County put 10 on Dublin. Archer shut out Rockdale. Mays beat Cristo Ray 3-2. Mill Creek over Collins Hill. Rome put 10 on East Paulding. Heritage over Woodland 4-3. McEachern shut out Pebblebrook 4-0. Northview over North Springs 4-0. Whitewater 2-0 over Dutchtown. Chambly 8-1 over Woodward Academy. Harrison 7-6 over Campbell. Stars Mill 4-1 over Decatur. Milton in a shootout over Johns Creek. Goalless after 100 minutes. Sandy Creek over Upson Lee by 6. Marist put 10 on Southwest DeKalb. Sprayberry over Douglas County by 6. Centennial shut out Dunwoody 1-0. Cambridge and Drew put 10 on Kell and Columbia, respectively. North Atlanta 6-1 winners over Alpharetta. Pace Academy over Jackson. Maynard Jackson 4-0. Paulding County by 10 over Osborne. Trinity Christian shut out Langston Hughes on the girls' side 5-0. Riverwood put 6 on Marietta. Kennesaw Mountain shut out South Paulding. Hillgrove shut out South Cobb. And Trinity Christian, it was putting 10 on Skipstone. It was North Paulding shutting out Carrollton. Model shut out Cartersville. Alatoona shut out Wheeler. Pope 2-1 over Lassiter. And Roswell shut out North Cobb. So that shows you where we are when it comes to the girls' action from yesterday. We'll go over the schedules coming up in a bit. Mocking up the 6A girls bracket. Here's what we found out. This is, once again, one version of a universe. You could have Parkview and Lambert. You could have Archer and Hillgrove in the first round. You could have Harrison, North Gwinnett in the second round. You could have Brookwood, South Gwinnett in round number 2. And once again, this is if chalk continues to go forward. Richmond Hill and Grayson could be a quarterfinal, same as Walton and Harrison. We've had Walton and Harrison on our air this year. Buford and Brookwood could be a semifinal. Or Buford and Brookwood would be a matchup, and then you would have West Forsyth in a semi. Sorry. So you could have, in one side of the bracket, Buford and Brookwood playing each other, and the winner of that one getting West Forsyth. That in itself is crazy on the right-hand side of the bracket in 6A. So keep an eye on the 6A bracket on the girls' side. You could have a right-hand side, Buford, Brookwood, and West Forsyth, just to get out of their brackets. Absolutely crazy when it comes to 6A girls on the right-hand side and how it could be. Like I said, one version of one universe. And you could have that coming up in a sec. So in the girls' scoreboard top 10s, you have to change it, John. You have to hit the bracket and you have to hit the note. So here we go. All classes, top 10. Girls' side, scoreboard. Brookwood, Roswell, Buford, West Forsyth, GAC, Lassiter, Walton, North Oconee, Lambert, BT. That's across the board. 6A, Brookwood, Buford, West Forsyth. Literally, those three would be in the right-hand side of the bracket, all on the right-hand side of the bracket in the playoffs in 6A. Walton, Lambert, Harrison, Hillgrove, North Gwinnett, Campbell, and Denmark. 5A, Roswell, Lassiter, Pope, Northgate, McIntosh at number 5. Johns Creek, Alexander, Lakeside, DeKalb, Hab Central, and Riverwood. Quad A, North Oconee, BT, Cambridge, Marist, Alatoona, Pace Academy, Midtown, Pius, Stars Mill, and Northside Columbus comes in at number 10. The private classification poll separated from everybody else. GAC, Holy Innocents, Savannah Country Day, Lovett, Wesleyan, Hebron, Fellowship, St. Vincent's, Providence Christian, and the Walker School. AAA across the board. Once again, if I were to, I don't know, click on the right one. Jefferson, Sandy Creek, Lumpkin, Whitewater, Oconee County, ARC. Northwest Whitfield, Adairsville, Dawson County, and Luella. That's your AAA poll. AA, Pike, Sonoraville, Columbus, Morgan County, Coahulla Creek, Callaway, East Jackson, Savannah Arts, Stevens County, and Pierce County. That's your number. That's 1 through 10. Class A Division 1, Bremen Social Circle, Ace, Model, Thomasville, Jeff Davis, East Lawrence, Worth, Lamar, and Swainsboro. Class A Division 2, Screven, Atlanta Classical, Lake Oconee, Tryon, Portal, Towns, Dooley, Irwin, GMC, and the Elite Scholars Academy. That's your top 10 in the girls' side, courtesy of our friends at Scoreboard. So that's the rundown there. And we talked about how just absolutely insane it could get. 6A girls off to the side. Crazy, crazy, crazy. So that's the rundown of all of the polls. Now to the scheduling and how it looks today. Light schedule by comparison with 121 matches yesterday on the girls' side, only 14 today. But once again, you're juggling what's going on with spring break and trying to stay in form, those kinds of things. 5 o'clock, Long County out of the blocks right now at 12-1. They take on South Effingham. Sumter and Macon. Griffin and McDonough's at 5:30. Lincoln County, Washington County. That one is in Sandersville at 5:30. Stone Mountain, MLK, Washington takes on 9-2 Chapel Hill. It is Hepzibah and ARC. ARC is active at 5:30 at 12-2. Alexander and Hillgrove, keep an eye on that one. That's one of the big marquee matchups today. Alexander's at 11-3, Hillgrove at 11-1. East Coweta Noonan is at 6. Cambridge and Mount Perrin. Cambridge right now 11-3. Stevenson and Clarkston. Clarkston 6-1. They have a 6 o'clock kick. Denmark and South Forsyth. That one is 6:30 today. So we'll keep an eye on that one on the girls' side. So now on the boys' side, the activity going on today here in the state of Georgia. And once again, Dalton ranked number 3 nationally, and I'm having to fight through the Chicago the Chicago grid. 11 matches today on the boys' side. Tryon, Chestatee, Long County, and South Effingham. Challenging matchup there for positioning. Long County 8-6, South Effingham 9-2, and the overall those are at 7 o'clock. It is McDonough, Griffin, Hepzibah, and ARC. ARC's boys are 14-1. And Sumter and Macon, Stevenson and Clarkston. Clarkston boys are 8-1. That's a 7:30. Lincoln County goes once again to Sandersville, chasing after their 9th win of the year. They could hit double digits again for the boys team. Washington and Chapel Hill, MLK and Stone Mountain, East Coweta and Noonan, Cambridge and Mount Perrin Christian. So those are your matchups for those particular days here as we go. Once again, remember, tomorrow, SDH 1 and 2, follow along on social media. One is Trinity Christian, one of the matchups, one of our match days, Trinity Christian hosting Dutchtown. The other is for Toombs County to come north to take on our friends at Hebron Christian. So that one's going to be challenging. Toombs County and Hebron Christian, the head coaches, Jeremy Moore and Chad Griffin, go back to their time on the coast when Chad was a coach on the coast, when he was at Calvary Day. And so it's an opportunity for Toombs to continue to stay sharp in non-region play. So, yep, we'll go up to Decula and we'll take on Hebron Christian. So Toombs County, Hebron Christian, that one is on the network tomorrow, as is Dutchtown and Trinity Christian. Both of those are up tomorrow on the network. One's on SDH 1, one is on SDH 2. We'll let you know which one's where when we figure all that stuff out. So it's going to be very, very cool. And we have our we have our place that we wish to go to and make sure that our Friday is programmed in. So we'll let you know. Like I said, we have an idea. We know where we'd like to go on Friday. And when we have a better idea about Friday, then we will let you know. But like I said, we know where we'd like to go. We know where we would like to go here. And like I said, we will keep an eye on it and find out if we were able to go to our first choice matchup, and we'll let you know if we can or not. So we'll keep an eye on Friday for you. Thursday will be in 2 places at once. Next week, just to give you an idea, looking at a couple of different locations in and around Atlanta United matchups, because we have the 2s and Philadelphia Union 2. That one is in the midweek next week. That one is a week from tomorrow. Then Atlanta and New England is next Saturday. And then we get into the last weeks of the regular season and getting into the playoffs after our last high school matchup plotted is Gainesville on the 18th, in addition to Stars Mill and McIntosh. So we'll be 2 places at once on the last day of the regular season coming up in 16 days' time. And we'll let you know what those matchups are coming up in just a little bit. When we know, you'll know, and we're still planning on going around the state, and we're really planning on blanketing the playoffs and being in as many places as humanly possible when it comes to the playoffs themselves. So once again, that's another go-round of Soccer's in Session here on the SDH Network, catching you up with everything as we get closer and closer and closer to the playoffs. We went through some bracket projections. We went through the schedules, and we went through the scores from last night. And we'll be back at it again a week from today at noon Eastern, catching up with coaches and catching you up with everything going on in the GHSA. So for everybody here at the SDH Network, looking forward to being at Hebron Christian, looking forward to being at Trinity Christian, looking forward to being at places next week, looking forward to being at a big matchup next week, looking forward to being at places to give you Friday night football as well. That's another go-round of Soccer's in Session presented by our friends at Kaiser Permanente. Play it safe, everybody. Once again, back at it 9:05 tomorrow morning with SDH AM, where we will take you through the day. Nino and Nico on the Power Hour. We'll see you tomorrow morning, 9:05 Eastern. Since it is the end of the show, mucha platiel, play it safe. That means I get to do this.